So in this video, I'm gonna break down the B2B client acquisition strategy that will allow you to predictably sign 5 or even more clients every single month. We have a keyword here, predictably, because what I see right now is that there's a lot of agency owners, and what's surprising is that some of them are making a really good amount of money. So I'm talking about agencies doing like $50,000, $100,000, $300,000 per month. Sometimes I'm talking to these people and basically it turns out that they don't even have the right sales process. They don't even have a solid client acquisition, like a predictable client acquisition strategy. So maybe they just rely on referrals. Maybe they are doing some like cold emails here and there. Maybe they're doing some, content or like branding stuff, but they don't really have a predictable system that's gonna help them, firstly get in front of their ideal customers and then actually nurture and convert them into paying clients. So that's what I want to cover in this video. Now, jumping into the video, first thing I wanted to talk about is the sales cycle length, because what I see in that space, and that's the most common thing, especially with agencies, is that even though the average sales cycle in the B2B space is anywhere from like 4 to 6 months, the sales process is optimized for like 10 days. So like the whole sales process is literally just like 10 days where they get a call booked, from whatever it is, the source. Then they have a discovery call. Maybe they send some resources after the call. They have a sales call. And then basically either a client says, yes, let's do it. Or he says, no, I'm not ready yet. Or I don't want it. Or whatever is the case that they don't move forward. The thing is, majority of the people will tell you no. Like even good closing rate in the B2B space is like anywhere from 25 to 40%. Like that's the most common. If your closing rate is too high, that's also not a good sign. Probably you need to raise your prices. If it's too low, well, there might be a different variety of different things that might cause that, but that's not the topic of this video. What I'm trying to say here is that everyone, that I'm talking to, like a lot of people are just trying to optimize their sales process for 10 days. But let's say your closing rate is at like 30%. That literally means that 70% of people are gonna tell you no on the call. You're gonna hear no 70% of the times. And big mistake is that most agencies, most B2B like service providers, they have no process for nurturing and like educating and converting people after the call. So basically they lost the deal. Like I said, it's like 70%, it's a lot of people. And they do nothing, absolutely nothing. So what it does is basically that those people then go away, then they disappear from your sales cycle, and they probably never come back because like there's no way they don't hear about you. They probably forgot that they even had a call with you in the first place. So that's what happens with most like agencies or like B2B service providers. They have no process for nurturing. So basically that's what happens in the first 7 days. Then for the next 358 days, nothing is happening. At the end, they basically lose a deal. So what you should do instead is really you should have a sales cycle that is optimized for like 12 months. So it literally is something that is like an ongoing thing. So then there's the same process at the beginning. You get a call booked, you have a discovery call, maybe you send some resources, you have a sales call, but then you have like a nurturing machine, meaning that if someone tells you no, and as I said, like that's gonna be majority of the people gonna tell you no, you have a process that will keep like nurturing, keep educating them about your offer. They will constantly get like bombarded with your client wins, testimonials, things like it. You'll be just like in front of them all the time, and that's what will allow you to first like speed up the sales cycle, because as I said, that not only allows you to basically close more deals in the long term, but it also massively speed up the sales cycle if you do it right. And then basically here, instead of people just forgetting about you after the sales call, they are bombarded with like information. You're still in front of them, basically giving them value, showing them the client wins, all of those things, and then at the end you can win the deal. Because the days of just like in the past, the only way you can really follow up with people was to just send them a direct message, just bombard them with messages, call them, like all of those things. Right now, it doesn't really work this way, like you need to still do that. Of course, it still works. Like I'm doing that as well. But what works even better than that is just getting them into like an automated nurturing system. And in the second, I'm going to show you exactly how to build that system that will just constantly bombard them with value, and it will allow you to basically stay top of their mind. So then it will basically either convert them quicker, or when they are ready, like you'll be the first one that they're going to think about. Now, getting into that process, if you want to sign predictably, 5 clients a month, probably what you need is 2 systems. So one thing is the outbound, and the second is inbound. Now, I don't really want you to rely on like just referrals, because while of course it's like one of the best sources of clients, everyone that comes from referrals, they're educated, they want to work with you, you can have like 80-90% close rate. It's not something that is really predictable. Like one month you might sign 5 clients, the next month you might sign 0, and that's not what you want if you want to build like a predictable client acquisition machine, and if you want to predictably scale your agency. So for outbound, it doesn't really matter like what you're doing, whether it's like cold email, cold calling, LinkedIn DMs, paid advertising, or inbound, whether you're building your audience on YouTube, Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram, whatever, you can actually do all of that at the same time. The thing is, with client acquisition, like every method of client acquisition that you have is making the other ones work better. And what I mean by that is that if you're selling cold emails, but you also have a YouTube channel, and you also have a solid Twitter presence, and you also have a solid LinkedIn presence, and maybe you're also running paid ads, like that's gonna work better than if you would just run cold email. So that's basically one thing that you need to understand, is that you cannot just rely on one method, because firstly, it's not something that, like, you don't want to put all the eggs into one basket, but secondly, every new client acquisition method usually makes the other ones perform better. Now, talking about the sales process, we need to have like processes for three things. So like attracting, nurturing, and converting our clients. Now, talking about attracting, like here we have what I already mentioned, and what I recommend you to do is like have some outbound strategy in place. What I see works best in this space is, cold emails. Yes, they still work if you know how to do them, if you do them right. LinkedIn DMs, another good platform, LinkedIn, to connect with people, founders. And then cold calling. I'm not a big fan of that. I don't have a lot of experience. I probably never made a cold call in my life, but I know that there are some people also crushing with cold calling. So it might work for some offers in some spaces. But then what you need to focus on is also having the right content machine going on. So that is basically the thing that first it will help you attract more people, but it's also something that is, nurturing people then. And I'm going to go into that in a second as well. But on the content machine side, YouTube, basically for us and for many of our clients, like that's the main thing that we focus on. It's just creating YouTube videos, because while I love all the other platforms, YouTube is the one that builds the most amount of trust, is the best for nurturing, it's the best for converting. So that's why obviously I'm a big fan of YouTube. Then LinkedIn posts. The thing is, if you're doing YouTube videos, you can literally just turn them into LinkedIn posts, email newsletters, Twitter content. Like that's really, really easy. So that's why I recommend to do YouTube, because if you do that, you can even, use AI or your team help to basically just repurpose that content into other things as well. Then we have paid ads. I don't have a lot of experience with that. Like I don't really run paid ads to get more clients, but what I know works good in space, talking to many agency owners, is either like a direct VSL funnel or a webinar funnel as well. So that's something that some of our clients also use. Then we go into the nurturing process. And trust me, most agencies, they have nothing here. Like really, they have nothing going on. They just want to attract someone, get them on a call, and either close or not close. And that's why basically they're losing a lot of deals in that process. And what is important is that this nurturing thing, like this is something that should work for you before even the call takes place in the first place. Like before you even have a conversation with them on a call, you should have them in that nurturing process. And that's also something that they will be instill if they become your clients or if they tell you no at the call. So here I like to leverage YouTube, basically just try to get everyone to subscribe to my YouTube channel, because then they will get value videos, they will see some case study content, they will see client interviews, and basically if someone subscribes to your YouTube channel, then every new video that you post, they're just gonna see it and it's gonna constantly remind them of you. And if they actually watch the video, well, that's even better. Then we have pre-call email flows. Again, a lot of people, I'm surprised that a lot of people don't even use that. Like if you book a call with me, you're gonna get a set of emails letting you know more about our case studies, letting you know about our process, letting you know more about, maybe like we have some frequently asked questions, things like that. So basically we educate our prospects before the call. So then they either cancel the call because they see it's not for them, or if they come to the call, they are now educated, they know more about our clients, about our process, and that just makes things way easier for me to explain our offer, and then also for them to actually make the decision at the end, whether it's a yes or a no. And then email list. Again, 90% of agencies, B2B businesses, they don't use email lists. And I think that's a huge mistake, because here you can, with almost no additional work, you can literally constantly stay on top of mind with your prospects. And what we're doing is we're basically adding everyone that books a call with us automatically lands on an email list. You can unsubscribe from that if you don't want to. But then whenever I post a YouTube video, I share it to my email list. Whenever I have some client wins to share, I share that to my email list. Whenever I want to just give some value to my email list, I write a kind of value email and I send it. And I was surprised that a lot of people that I had a call with, I was even checking that this morning, because we're using ConvertKit for sending those emails. And then I can see, who's opening them, who's checking out the links maybe that are in that specific email. And what I noticed is that a lot of people that I had a call with over the past 3 months that didn't sign, they are constantly opening up the emails. They are clicking the links. They are watching the videos that I send them. So they are consuming that content. And sometimes what happens almost every email that I send is that I have at least a positive reply, or I have someone book a call with me from that. Because basically, this way I stay on top of their mind without being pushy. I'm just kind of giving them value. They land on my email list and they keep getting, emails from me without me having to manually chase everyone, send manual follow-ups, call them, all of those things. So I'm just trying to give them value or educate them about what we do, so then they can make an informed decision. And then, ultimately at the end we have a conversion. So like if there's someone, if we take out the nurturing part as well right now and just think about it, in a way of like, we get a call booked, we have a call, at the end people are either gonna close or not. And we come back to that sales cycle where most people, if they lose a deal, they just do nothing. So basically they lose a deal, maybe they're gonna follow up from time to time, but that's basically everything that they do. And what we do, if we don't close the deal, well, then people are landing on my email list. I'm sharing a lot of YouTube content, and a lot of them actually decide to subscribe to my YouTube channel. So then they see all my content on YouTube. And also sometimes I'm doing direct follow-ups. So, I can also do direct follow-ups, but I can lead with value. I can share my YouTube videos if I see it's something that, might be helpful for them. But that's basically like having those three things allows me to sign a lot of clients in the long term. So basically what happens is that even if 1 month I close 25% of the calls, let's say, which is not a really high closing rate, then a few months later I come back to that same spreadsheet, because you should be tracking all the sales calls that you're taking. But I come back to that same sales tracking sheet, and I see that, well, I actually closed like 3 more clients that were from that previous month, but like a few months later. And it turns out I can have easily like 40-50% close rate in the long term, because a lot of the deals that in the first place weren't really interested, or they weren't ready, whatever was the reason that they didn't move forward, now because they were constantly getting nurtured by my nurturing system, they are interested. And we sign a lot of clients a few months later, where most people basically they lose out on those deals because they just have this short-term thinking of, I'm gonna either close the deal right now or I'm just gonna lose it forever. And that's basically not what you should do in sales. So that's basically the acquisition strategy that we use. We're doing all the things that I mentioned here, aside from like doing paid ads pretty much and cold calling, as I said. But this allows us to basically, firstly, on demand, reach to clients with our outbound strategies, get more clients from our content machine, so like get a lot of inbound leads from it. YouTube videos are generating consistent clients every single month, and we also have some LinkedIn and Twitter going on. And then we use that as well a lot to not even directly get clients, but to just nurture people, with our email list, pre-call email flows, YouTube assets, and then ultimately we're able to close a lot of deals, sign a lot of clients in the long term. So that's basically what I recommend you to do as well, is basically think about how you can optimize your sales cycle. So it's not just a 7-10 day, sales cycle process, and instead it's optimized for constantly nurturing and converting people so you can close more deals in the long term. Knowing that, as I said, the average sales cycle in B2B is like 4 to 6 months pretty much. So action steps for you at the end: start creating YouTube videos if you're not doing them yet, and do them properly. If you want our help here, I basically run a YouTube agency where we help entrepreneurs, agency owners, coaches take care of everything so they can just record content. We do the rest, making sure that you're growing and getting clients. Start an email list and basically put everyone that books a call to your email list. You can also create some lead magnets, share them on YouTube, use them to grow that email list. The more people can get on your email list, the better. But even, my email list with like 500 people is generating sales calls almost every time I send an email. And make people subscribe to your YouTube channel. You don't have to like ask them directly to like go and subscribe while they are on a call with you. But if you use your YouTube channel, if you use your YouTube videos in the sales process, then a lot of people that are somewhat interested, like they're gonna subscribe. And so basically that's what you need to do. And then create a post-call value follow-up process as well. So have a set process of like, if someone's not gonna sign up with me, aside from the email list, aside from YouTube, here's the timeline of me sending them like direct follow-ups. So you basically have like a full, sales cycle, a full sales process described in one place. So that's basically it for this video. Now, as I said, if you want me and my team help with growing your YouTube channel, go ahead and check out the link down below. Or if you're not ready yet, go ahead and check out this video that we made with our client Nick, where basically he talks about his experience and how he used YouTube to scale from $20K to $300,000 a month.